Good afternoon, and welcome to the expansion of consciousness for season 5. And WT Hamilton is our first guest of the actual new season, and I'm thrilled that we're back on after 215 episodes, and we're still here. And we're still here because you guys are continuously emailing new topic ideas, and we just had a blast with this whole thing. And it's about expanding your consciousness. It's about changing your mindset. It's about looking at different ways to grow your mental, to grow yourself. And when we bring guests on the show, they introduce unique paradigms for you to consider, unique possibilities for you to consider on how to gain anything you want in life, all by using your mind. All about using different modalities. So naturally, I'm excited. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce an extraordinary guest who has mastered the art of turning dreams into reality, WT Hamilton. And WT is a multi-award-winning author. He's a mindset coach. We've had a lot of those on the show. And he's an entrepreneur who specializes in helping clients transform their lives into millions of dollars, ideas that people have to be successful. And he helps you do that, with products and with services. With his unique approach rooted in the principles of growth mindset, we don't want to be stagnant, guys. We want to be a growth mindset. And success strategies, WT has empowered countless individuals to unlock their potential and achieve what they once thought was impossible. WT is the creator of the world's first one-chapter book series. And through his groundbreaking work, including his concepts of the unfair advantage, he shows people what to do and how to do it in a way that works best for them. His journey as an author, speaker, entrepreneur is filled with actionable insights and real-world experiences that he uses to help others tap into their power. Let's dive into this story. Let's dive into this conversation with WT. And we can all use this powerful message, the powerful tools, and the things that JT can offer you to create success in your life. But without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on WT. WT, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Jason. How are you been?
I'm awesome. This opportunity to speak with you after I had a chance to look at all of the things that you've been able to accomplish, all the things that you've been able to do. I'm like, you know what? This brother right here, nice. I like his stuff. I like what he's doing. And I said, I cannot wait to have a conversation with him and invite him onto the show so that he can share some of his knowledge and wisdom, with the audience. So I'm glad that you're here. And I know that one of the first questions that you normally get is, what led you here? I don't want to just get into it. I'm going to be like everyone else. WT, what led you on this path, this incredible journey that you're on right now, inspiring power of the growth mindset? And how did it bring you to this moment?
Yeah, so it really started in a moment of crisis. I was in a situation where I realized I wasn't in control of my life, wasn't in control of my finances, and I wasn't really in control of the direction that I wanted to go.
Yes.
All of those were tied to other people making decisions that would allow me. So basically giving me permission to do things or telling me, no, you've gone as high as you can go. You can't go any higher.
Right.
So I said to myself, well, that doesn't make any sense. If I'm responsible to pay my bills and I'm responsible for the success, why am I not in charge of giving myself permission? So once I realized I was letting people dictate to me what I could do and the level I could reach, I said, okay, how do you change the tables? How do you get the unfair advantage? And I discovered the law of attraction. And with the law of attraction, because it's very spiritual, and I am more now, but at that time I wasn't very spiritual. But I could see the mindset of it and the logic of focusing your thoughts on what you want to do and then using inspired action to move in the direction of your dreams. So I started experimenting with it, testing it, seeing what works, what doesn't work for me, what parts of it I can really believe in and what parts I have to leave aside for now. And as I started doing that, That's how I discovered growth mindset. And I realized that if you decide you want to do something, that's the first step. And then once you decide, there's all these things that start to fall into place for you without you even having to try. And you can develop the success that you want, not effortlessly, but with a bit of grace and ease. And once you understand that there's this thing going on behind the scenes, you start to learn how to use that and manipulate that and work it to your advantage, then things really start to take off.
Yeah, when you said growth mindset, it puts me in the mind of just a lot of people I work with in the past. I'm a mindset performance coach, mental game coach. I mean, whatever kind of coach you want to call me, but it all starts with helping people move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And when you can achieve the growth mindset status, then you're open to all kind of possibilities. You're
Yeah.
open to different concepts and different ideas because we're here to continue to create and to continue to learn. And I'm just glad that you're doing this type of work. And you develop the concept of the unfair advantage in your work. Can you explain to us what concept entails? What this concept sort of entails, this unfair advantage concept, and how individuals can tap into and unlock their potential.
Yeah. So it starts with realizing that you can give yourself permission to achieve your goals,
Yes.
and then allowing yourself to give yourself permission to say, you know, dreaming about what you want to do. There's levels of dreaming. So everybody dreams of maybe making more money or getting that promotion, but you can also dream of doing your personal impossibles. So someone like a personal impossible for me was writing books, because I was good at writing, but I wasn't great at writing. And I was told when I was young from a teacher that I wasn't going to amount to too much because I was really bad at spelling. So a personal impossible for me was allowing myself to dream that I could write books and I could win awards and I could do all these big things that on paper I'm not supposed to be able to do.
Mm.
So the first unfair advantage is just allowing yourself to believe in things that nobody else believes you can do. As long as you believe, but you got to believe with your mind and your heart. It's got to be both those, emotions and energy. When you marry that together, then it starts to uh, unveil a path for you of the steps that you need to take to achieve that goal. So that's the basic unfair advantage. And once you grasp that, and that's one that I find people struggle with a lot. But once you can get over that idea that you have to have someone to give you permission, and you're always looking for acknowledgement from other people. Once you can let go of that, just give yourself acknowledgement, learn how to pat yourself on the back and be able to celebrate your smallest wins that it may not matter to anybody else. But for you, it's like, wow, I can't believe I did that last week or the week before. I was struggling trying to figure this out. And now look, I'm doing it. And once you can give yourself permission to achieve and permission to succeed, and you acknowledge that success, that's a big piece of the unfair advantage of getting you started to move in the direction of your dreams.
So, WT, the phrase give yourself permission, and that's
Yeah.
easy to say to someone who's
Yeah.
stuck with anxiety, who's stuck in depression, who can't seem to get to second base.
Yeah.
But the only thing you have to do is give yourself permission. What does that entail? And what I would say to it, it means that someone like you has to help a person self-realize themselves. And once they're able to self-realize that, yeah, I am the issue in this area, or wow, I do have blockages, then it allows you to help them gain that confidence to give themselves the permission to be great. Am I on the right track there?
Yeah. So what I tell people is, so when you're giving yourself permission, it's not just permission to chase after your dreams. There's permission to make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect, and don't have yourself on this pedestal that you have to know everything. You got to be perfectly prepared for everything before you start. Because part of learning the growth mindset is making mistakes that you can learn from. And as you learn from them, you start to master that situation. So you go into something that you don't know how to do at all, obviously you're going to struggle, and that's okay. That's normal. But as you're struggling, you're learning solutions. And
Right.
once you learn those solutions, you own those solutions for the rest of your life. Every time you want to start something new, you already know the first steps because you've done them before, you've experienced them, and you know exactly what works. So part of giving yourself permission is allowing yourself to fail and understand that nobody knows who you are when you first start. So they're not gonna really be, looking engaging how well you're doing because they don't know who you are. So this is the perfect time to learn and make the mistakes. You don't want to reach a certain level of success and then start making mistakes because you you did everything perfectly. Maybe you took the elevator instead of the stairs to success. Now you're up there and now you're starting to make these huge mistakes and everybody's looking at you and they're saying, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So that's the thing. When you're giving yourself permission, it's not just to succeed, it's also permission to fail, to learn, and to grow.
Yeah, it just seems like people who are struggling, giving themselves permissions. It just seems like there's something else that they need to have in order to be able to do that. But let's move on. Many people that you work with,
Yeah.
um, they have all these ideas, and they turn to you. All these multi-million-dollar ideas that they have in their head, and they're looking to turn them into this actionable item, this actionable plan. What do you see as the biggest obstacle that holds people back, and how do you help them overcome it?
So I think the biggest obstacle is they want everything to happen quickly, instantly, and easily,
Yes.
and they don't understand that growth, the word growth, what does that mean? It means you're starting from something small and you're slowly growing. It doesn't mean that you just accelerate. So understanding what is your big goal? What is like the end goal as an experience? So what will the experience of succeeding feel like? And then we back engineer it. We walk back to the beginning to the first steps. So you have this big idea, that's your vision. That's your GPS. That's going to keep you going when, motivation starts to fall apart, when things start to get hard. You have that big goal as an experience, not just as a thing you want to accomplish, but an experience that you want to have. When you're able to really understand what that experience is, what you're going to celebrate, then you can start to look at these first steps. Because the first steps, they're the unsexy part. They're the part that nobody brags about because you're not going to be able to put them on Instagram or social media.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working on my website today. So fun. you're not going to do that. But those are the hard work. That's the growth part. You get to celebrate your small wins and your your mid-level wins while you're journeying to those big wins. But understanding that it's a growth thing, understanding that and then having that vision of what the experience is going to be like, that's how you develop your idea and start to create it into an actual tangible reality for yourself.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why coaching is expensive.
Yeah.
WT, you know what I mean. WT, this
Yeah.
this level of instruction, this level of one-on-one assistance that you're giving, that you're speaking about to people, is priceless. You can literally change a person's life just by helping them understand, you know, how to think through ideas, how to move from a fixed to a growth mindset. And it takes time. And I'm sure you have a number of tools in the bag that you use. We'll get to those.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to commend you on that. And I know that you've written several books, which is so amazing. I love to interview people who not only do the work, but they write about it. But some of the books that you've written, including The Harsh Truths and The Promise, I just want to know what inspired you to create the world's first one chapter book series. And how was, I mean, that's pretty unique, a one chapter series. How has that format impacted your readers?
So it really came out of a demand. I was writing books about the law of attraction with my mom, so she would write about the spiritual
Mhm.
side of it, and I would write about the practical side for your career. And then people were asking me, well, what about business? Do you have books just for business? So I started looking at the kind of books that were out there, and there are multi chapters of things, everything you need to know about business. But most people were asking about one struggle, one hurdle that they're trying to get over. So I created the one chapter book. Is It's just one hurdle at a time, one problem. I'm going to give you the solution. It's got actionable steps, and you take those steps and you've solved that problem. So that's how it came about. And what people like about it is, if they want to learn about marketing, there's a book for marketing. They want to learn about, like, the harsh truth is about starting a business. It's all the little pitfalls of starting a business that you gotta look for. So by doing that, they were able to get these quick reads, find a solution, the action items, and then put those into actual play and start to master that struggle, whatever that issue is that they had.
Ingenious. And I like that approach. And it just seems to be fun to purchase a one chapter book on exactly what I want, WT. It's just, I like that, brother. And it's refreshing. We're all authors out here, not all of us, but and we, when you're putting together a 200 or a 300 page book, it's a lot. But that concept is just beautiful. Hey, what advice would you give someone who is trying to develop their own X factor? And I've read about this X factor format that you've talked about for successful people. They possess this X. So I'm wondering, what kind of advice would you give for someone that's trying to develop their own X factor in their personal and professional life?
Yeah, so I do this a lot with people when I'm first working with someone. I want to find out what your natural talents are.
Yeah.
What are you already good at? Because that is your X factor. And now let's develop that. Because a lot of times it's a raw talent. We're going to fine tune it. We're going to actually look at how do we monetize that talent. And by doing that, now you have your niche, you have your audience, everything's built in, and it's easy for you. Because if you're trying to learn something you don't have any talent in, that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But if you're already good at something, why not build your business around that? Why not build your career around that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have this mindset for success program, this program that you offer. And I was reading about how you have all these practical exercises with all these strategies that you use. Could you share an example of one exercise that the listeners can use like right away to start maybe transforming their mindset?
Yeah. So a big exercise I like to use is what I talked about earlier, is basically looking at your goal as an event and
Mhm.
really visualizing that. So at nighttime, you want to think about that before you go to sleep. You really want to think about in detail who's going to be there, what is the location, what is it going to feel like to be there, what what uh what
Yes.
smells, all the whole ambience of it. Start to build that in your mind. That's the first night. Maybe do that for a couple of nights and then write it down. So by the third night, you're going to write down in detail what that actually is, and then you want to start to build on that detail. And by doing that, what you're building is a movie in your mind starring you accomplishing your goal, accomplishing the big thing as an event. So that a lot of times when we're chasing success, we'll reach a certain status, but we don't celebrate it because it might just be like a money status or something, material. So we keep moving to the next thing and the next thing, and we never actually show gratitude for what we've got. And the best way to get blessings is to show gratitude, have gratitude for the blessings you already have. So if you set it up, your big goal as an event, you know that you've reached that. You're going to celebrate it, feel good about it, and then more things are going to come your way. Bigger things and better things are going to come your way because you've shown to the universe, to the connection, that hey, I'm thankful for all the things that you've helped me accomplish. So
And you said you're not really spiritual, but you are now. Yeah, the universe, brother. And you know
yep,
what? When you first started talking about the one exercise that people can take away,
yep,
and you said imagine yourself, I immediately said, yeah, that's the number one exercise is visualization.
yeah,
And what a powerful tool if used right.
yeah,
If um if the person possesses the right mindset, and they've set their intentions.
Mhm.
What a powerful tool. I use it in my mindset coaching programs for athletes and business executives and whomever.
Yeah.
And then I underline it with deep quantum hypnosis. Um, Also guided meditation. So I do a number of things, but what I hear you when you use visualization, you are really, really uh, changing the outcome of what you perceive, your
Yeah.
perception of what you want.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and I'm glad that that's one of the main tools that you're talking about today.
Yeah, and I think so. What I've really kind of coined it as is you're creating a new reality for yourself.
Mm,
It's
mm,
a reality that didn't exist before. And so when you're building that in your mind, you're actually, because we all live in our own reality bubbles and then we live in a shared reality, but you're actually creating a new reality. And that's part of manifesting. And as you're doing that, you're letting go of your old reality. Like you're no longer this struggling person trying to achieve. Now you're this successful person. And
yes.
so then you shift, everything in your life starts to shift because you've created this new reality for yourself, this whole new pathway. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're visualizing, that's what you're doing. You're creating a completely new life for yourself, a completely new reality. And it's an amazing and exciting thing when you really grasp what it is you're actually doing.
Yeah. And looking at your whole program, you know, you work with people, but you work with more business people. And entrepreneurship, WT, it can be a long journey. It can
Yeah.
sometimes you can feel like you're all alone when you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur.
Yeah.
How do you support entrepreneurs in dealing with the mental and emotional challenges that they may face or that they do face, while they're building their businesses? Because you have to be strong, and a um, you cannot have these negative emotions or trying to build a business and you don't feel good, because feeling good is very, very important uh, to a person. So how do you deal with the mental and the emotional challenges that entrepreneurs face when they're trying to build their operation?
So I always tell people like there's three things you can't do. You
Mhm.
can't expect instant, you can't expect perfection, and you can't expect easy. So
Yeah.
easy comes after the struggle. It's after you learn how to do something and you're a master of it. So forget about easy. Instant, it very rarely exists. And if you are lucky enough to get
Yeah.
instant success, it's not repeatable because you don't really know how you got there. So it's not that valuable for yourself, and you're not gonna be able to help anybody else do what you did because you got lucky basically in some kind of magical way. So for people to understand, I tell them like it's hard because you've never done this before. This path has never existed for you before. You're creating a whole new lifestyle for yourself. You're creating a whole new income stream for yourself, a whole new career most times for yourself. So let it take some time. It's a step by step process. But how you stay motivated is learning how to celebrate the small wins, the wins that other people might not really care about. For you, it's a big thing. Like if you didn't know how to set up your website before, and then you spent 2 weeks learning how to do your website, and now all of a sudden you got your website, celebrate that. It might not be a big deal for anybody else. Like, oh yeah, you just built a website. But it's like,
Mm.
yeah, but I built the website. I didn't know how to do a website 2 weeks ago. That's a big accomplishment. Some people take that for granted, but it's those little things you can't take for granted if you're trying to build something, because it's the only way that you're going to get a pat on your back is to give yourself the pat on your back. So you got to look at where were you today, and then what steps did you take tomorrow, and tomorrow you're going to look at, well, I'm farther than I was yesterday. Maybe not in other people's minds, but I'm starting to grow this business. I'm developing this thing because
I was
motivation. Yeah, go ahead.
no, 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 no. I want to keep going.
I was just gonna say motivation is not enough. Motivation is like a drug. It gives you a spike, but then you come back down. So what is your foundation? right? Your foundation has to be something more than motivation, and that's why we always look at that big goal that you have as a vision of an experience you want to have, because that's your GPS. That's going to pull you through the hard times. And when things don't work out, you look at, okay, why didn't it work out? And what is the solution? What can I do better next time so that it will work out? So those are the things that I really work with people to try to keep them focused when things get tough and when things are hard.
Yeah. And if I could add to that,
Mhm.
what is your foundation, but how do you perceive the situation?
Yeah.
What is your perception? What is your, I like to call it lens crafting.
Mhm.
When you're perceiving this information, we have the amygdala in the back of our brains, and it's telling us if it's safe, if there's some mild concern, and if it's danger or
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
But it's all about how we perceive X, meaning whatever it is we're focused on at the moment.
Yeah.
So that helps people, and I have like a diagram I use that it helps people just from the get-go. If you're looking at something or opportunity or building this website or your first meeting, what are your beliefs? What state of mind are you in? Because the way it comes in to the Miggy, your perception determines if you're going to be in that green light, that feel good state. You're going to be in that yellow light, that sort of queasy, or you're going to be in this red light, this stressful state, all based on your beliefs and the state of mind and your perception. In when you can change the way you see things
Mhm.
as a business person who's trying to get out there and trying to build something that helps along with what you're saying. And you've shared that most people know what to do,
Yeah.
but they struggle on how to do it. And I'm wondering what shifts or practices, um, or practical steps do you recommend for people who can take action, but they're kind of unsure on where to begin?
I always tell them it's baby steps. So really look at the very first thing that you need to do to move in the direction. And
Hmm.
always think about it that you're on a journey, you're moving into the direction to reach this end goal. So you're not starting like almost at that end goal. So look at where you're actually starting, be present in the moment. Because I think too much times we spend too much focus on the future, what could happen, what the possibilities are. It's like, but where are you right now? Are you
Yes.
safe right now? Is things working out for you right now? Are you in control of what you're trying to do right now? And if the answer is yes to all of those things, you're in a good place. If the answer is no, look at what you have to do right now to be able to turn those into a yes. It's really important to be present in the moment, have your eye on the future, but don't have 80% of your focus or 90% of your focus on the future. And you're not even looking at what's working for you right now. Because I really tell people that you want to get as many things on autopilot as you can in the moment so that you're those things are already working for you. And then you can focus a little bit on the things that you're going to do next. But if you're focused always on the things you're going to do next, you're probably missing out on some of the awesome gifts and awesome things that are happening for you right now. That's why you end up taking things for granted.
Mm. I mean, I love smart questions, and it just sounds like you're asking them smart questions to help them, again, self-realize. One of my favorite questions is, "What would you like to have happen?"
Mhm.
One of the most powerful questions you can ask a person. What
Yeah.
would you like to have happen? And it's just, what you can get from people, and then you can build on that.
Yeah.
It helps them see, maybe I haven't looked at this the right way, or maybe I hadn't prepared myself the right way. And then they have something to build on. It's just awesome. But the book, The Harsh Truths, okay, you delve into like different realities of success. Um, um, Sort of the way I took it, that many people are reluctant to face. Okay.
Yeah.
What is a harsh truth about success that you think people need to confront in order to achieve their dreams?
Yeah. So this is a big one. and it said, you know, nobody really cares about what you're doing.
Right.
So, so you can't be looking at everybody as your market. Like all your friends, your relatives, they're not actually the people that are going to want to buy your book or buy your service or your product. So don't worry about if they understand what you're trying to do. Don't worry about if they support it or not. Don't even care about their support. What you need to do is just believe in yourself and then look for the people that are interested in what you're doing. Look for the people that are going to resonate with what you're doing. Those are your audience when it comes to your business. When it comes to your personal life, that's a whole different story. But when we're talking about building your business, building your career, don't let people that are not ever going to buy from you, not ever going to interact with you, have a say in what you should be doing or judge how you're doing because they're not your client, they're your friends. So two different things completely. I think people get tripped up on that too much.
Let me read that again because I wrote that down when I put you on the solo screen. No one, not everybody cares about your dreams, so um, you can't look at all the people that are close to you as your market. Can you just expound on that, WT? I love what you said right there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I teach in the beginning when we're looking at setting up your your business. Don't ask people that are your friends what they think of it because they're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's awesome. Oh, I love that," but they're not going to come and book your coaching. They're not going to buy your product or services. So why are you getting their opinion? Their opinion doesn't matter. Go find people that don't know who you are but are interested in what you're doing. Talk to them and find out what they think and
Mm,
what they're needing because those are the people that are actually going to come back and buy the product. Like when people were asking me for these one chapter books, for these entrepreneur books, I knew what my target was. I knew my audience. They were not my friends. They were not my relatives. Like some of my friends and relatives have read the books after the fact that they're already successful. But the people that really were interested were were people that were coming up to me at events, see me talking about things and asking me for what it is that they want from me, and then give people what they want.
mm,
If they're looking at your talents and they see what your talents are, they're asking you, "Oh, do you do this?" Think about that. Okay, maybe that's an income stream for me. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should add that as one of my offers.
mm.
We miss out on that because we spend too much time with the wrong audience, our family, our friends, people that aren't interested in what we do, but they like us because they know us from before.
Right.
Right.
Right. And you mentioned events. I mean, and I know that you've spoken at many events, many venues. What do you think are some of the key qualities that make a powerful speaker? And WT, how do you engage your audience in a way that leaves a lasting impact on them?
So this was a journey that I took where I was trying to figure out what my voice was. So I knew I had some talent with speaking and building relationships, and but I was very uncomfortable going up on stage or being in the front of the room. And then also being in front of the room, I wasn't sure exactly what I was supposed to say or how I was supposed to deliver. So I really had to figure out what my authenticity is, because at the beginning I was showing up as a wearing a mask, pretending to be something that I'm not, trying to be a little bit more polished and professional than I was, and it was doing okay. But when I would do videos, just YouTube videos, whatever type of videos, and just being my natural self, that was resonating a lot more with people. So I started to understand you have to be authentic. You don't show up what you think people want, show up how you really are, because then
Mm,
you can be that person all the time. You don't have to put on, a performance for an audience and then you're out doing other things and you're completely different from what the person's seen on stage. So I think you can have a polished approach to your authenticity so that when you're on stage, it's polished and you have your punchlines and you have your key points, but you have to be your natural self. I think it's the best to be your natural self because that's the most comfortable that you're always going to be. And when you're up on stage and you're in front of an audience, it's not that comfortable. So if you can be yourself, at least you're staying more into your true comfort, and then you're engaging with the audience and you're looking at what type of audience do you have? Is it an audience that you can tell more jokes, or is it an audience that you want to be a little bit more serious? So you read the audience and you kind of get a feel for when you're speaking how they're reacting, and you instantly have to change. It's like playing jazz music. You instantly have to change to what's working with your audience. So that same speech, I could do three different styles depending on the audience I'm speaking to. But
Mm.
the key is to be authentic, because I've tried it the other way, but being just your real authentic natural self is the easiest way to approach speaking.
Be your natural self. So
Yeah.
I'm about to do a challenge with you, and I want you to be your natural self. And I want you to, when I get through reading these things off to you, I want you to respond with one word.
Uh,
So, uh, W.T. Hamilton, best-selling author of the Unfair Advantage ebook and training series, The Harsh Truths, The Promise, which is a one-book chapter, The $1 Million Idea, Manifest Success, How to Remove the Mental Hurdles and Limitations, The Lonely Entrepreneur, Your Invincible Power series, co-authored with Pamela Hamilton. Give me one word that describes all of this.
one word describes all of those.
And the way
It's
you
really
feel about it.
it's really confidence.
Mm.
To do all of that, you have to be confident, because you're opening yourself up to all kinds of critics. When you write a book, you have to get reviews. So you have to be confident to accept whatever somebody says, and then understand how to use that to create the better book. So yeah, confidence.
Where does that confidence come from?
It's an attitude I learned. So I'm half English, half Jamaican, and for whatever reason, the Jamaican culture, people are overly confident.
Mm.
They're more confident than maybe they should be. I think it was kind of a natural thing, but I grew up in a small town, and I was like, at the time, I was one of the only minorities there, so I was always standing out. So I realized now, if you're gonna stand out, you might as well be outstanding. So I really started to try to build that confidence of, yeah, I'm here and I got something to offer, and you should really listen to what I have to say.
And confidence is one of the most important things in any mindset program. And I'm just so happy you came on. Now, let's talk about what you have to offer. How can people contact you? Talk about your programs. Inform the audience on how they can work with you.
Yeah, so I have a lot of free stuff on the Mindset for Success training um, website. There's a lot of free trainings that you can do. I
Mhm.
do one-on-one trainings as well, depending on if it's a good fit and how serious you are about achieving. Because a lot of times I find people, they kind of want to coach as a buddy, but it's like, no, we need to actually be able to accomplish something if you want to work with me. So, and then you can connect with me on Instagram. I do a lot of post a lot of stuff on Instagram. W.T.Hamilton on Instagram.
What's your website again?
It's mindsetforsuccesstraining.com.
Okay.
And and that's where you can catch the book The Unfair Advantage. You get a free download, and with that it comes with some video training as well.
Okay. Mindsetforsuccesstraining.com. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mindsetforsuccesstraining.com. Uh, Mr. W.T. Hamilton, I am so excited that you came on the show. We had a great conversation. Is absolutely wonderful. Is there anything that you'd like to leave with this audience before we get out of here?
Yeah, I really enjoyed being on your show too, Jason. And I would just say that really start with that vision. Start building your vision as an experience. You're going to see that it's going to open up a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors, and ideas are going to find you. Ideas are going to find you on how you can actually make that vision become a tangible experience.
Mm. WT, Thank you for being here. I'm gonna move you to the back. Don't go anywhere. I'm about to say a few more things about you, and they're gonna be nice. So
Right.
don't go anywhere. But thank you again. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna close this thing out. Wow. Wow, that was W.T. Hamilton. And what an incredible conversation we had. I mean, we explored the power of a growth mindset, the concept of the unfair advantage, and really how to turn your dreams into reality. And W.T.'s insight with people overcoming mental hurdles and turning ideas into action, truly eye-opening. I mean, people, if today's episode resonated with you, just take action, and make sure you follow the expansion of consciousness on your favorite podcast platform. We're on Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere in expansion of consciousness. And don't forget to leave a review. And that's how, and just like with WT, reviews help solidify our business and people trying to find out more about us. And your feedback really helps us reach even more people who are looking to expand their mindset and unlock their full potential. So I want you to stay tuned for more amazing guests as usual, and always keep expanding your consciousness. And remember, trust, relax, and discover. Thank you so much.